Hello, everyone. Welcome to an interesting podcast in relation to UAE taxation and accountancy career. In our today's podcast, we have a great guest with us, Mr. Muhammad Kalim. I must say he is the face of chartered accountants here in UAE. I've been here in UAE for some time, and from every person I meet who is from the accountancy profession, he knows Kalim always. So, first of all, I want to welcome Mr. Kalim and thank you for taking out his time and attending this session. Thank you, Kalim, for taking out time.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Owais, for
Uh,
inviting me.
I'll take
Obviously, it's a
some
pleasure.
time to introduce Mr. Kalim. Kalim himself is a chartered accountant by profession. He's an entrepreneur, a founding partner in an accountancy, taxation, and auditing firm. He has been dealing with the ACCA individuals coming to UAE from a long time, and he has developed a complete community there in which he has connected around 3,000 students. And his initiative has also been appreciated by the CEO of the ACCA itself, along with his professional commitments in relation to his firm and his all the dealings he do. He gives a lot of time to the accountancy profession and to the people who are coming in UAE for their career. More than 700 individuals he has helped them in placement in UAE. So I must say that Kalim has been a great important person for this accountancy career here in UAE, who is connecting with the individuals and helping those who are looking for small and medium sized practices here in UAE. So before going in that much detail, Kalim, I would like that if you can share your some experience about the UAE and how the introduction of these corporate taxes here in UAE will create a boost up in the accountancy and the taxation and the auditing career. Because what I personally feel is that from 2025, when you're in UAE, the corporate tax filings will start. Every business here, which are around more than 700,000 registered businesses, every business will have to make their accounts, get them audited, go for the tax return filing, which will obviously be a very new thing for the UAE, because currently everyone is just looking at the registration aspect. There's a big world which will be opening when we will talk about the making of the return, because in order to make a tax return, you first need to have proper accounts as per IS and IFRS. So how you look at the UAE market for the accountancy professionals, for the tax professionals. So if you can please share your valuable insight on that.
Perfect. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me, and definitely it's a pleasure sharing my experiences and what exactly I think about the market. But before going into detail, definitely I would like to share my experience, how it started, and then obviously coming into UAE, what are the things then and how is the market now? So I started with my career with one of the big four in Pakistan, and then I came here, and it's been almost 10 years. Like I'm in UAE. So the day I landed, the market and the profession for accountants, it was different, obviously. In Pakistan, you have a different kind of environment where you have taxation. Obviously, that taxation is also very old, and you have very complex structures over there, and you have to learn all of those things. And learning is one aspect, and then implementation or getting the exposure in the market, that's a separate thing. Most of the people who are joining us, obviously, they are either pursuing their studies or they have already completed their studies. So whatever they have studied, so they will see once they will enter into the practical market or their practical life. So they will see how they can, that life is totally different than just studying or getting anything in like literary thing is different than practical thing. So 10 years ago, I came over here, and I'm really sorry. I'm a little under the weather because the weather is changing over here. So that's why. And as you mentioned, like I've been part of different activities and I've been organizing a lot of activities. So we have to meet a lot of people, and sometimes we neglect our health as well in that. But obviously, people they should not do that. Health always comes first. Even in the morning, we had another session, and now I'm having this one. So when I came here in 2014, that was the first time I landed here. So things were different. And this is what I tell to a lot of people who approach me. And then I say that back then, the profession was a little bit easier and the market entry was a little bit easier over here. So if you just knew how to do accounting, if you wanted to be just an accountant or if you wanted to enter into industry, so the only requirement was that you should know how to do accounting. What is debit? What is credit? a little bit of accounting practices, a little bit of accounting policies, accounting treatments, and that was enough. Obviously, if you knew any of the accounting softwares back then, so that was an advantage for you. Then in 2015, UAE announced that now we'll be following international financial reporting standards, as many other countries had already adopted. So UAE has adopted international financial reporting standards in 2015 onwards. So now in that time, the only requirement was that fine, you know accounting and you know accounting practices, but now you have to know what are the impacts of international financial reporting standards. So it was a must back then that you should know international financial reporting standards, and then that was an advantage for you to get that job. So years passed, and then in 2017, UAE announced that now we want to incorporate VAT, which is value added tax. So we want to incorporate value added tax. Now things again changed. Now people or the companies or entrepreneurs who are looking for accountants, so they didn't just want them to have accounting experience, but they wanted to them to have knowledge of any accounting softwares, international financial reporting standards, plus the understanding of VAT. So that was another addition at that time. Though VAT is not as complex as other taxes, but it was a very, I would like to say it's a very minimal part of the tax world. It's easier to understand. There were few adjustments related to the different kind of industries. So it was easier to understand. But back then, it did not enhance the market or the market demand for accountants back then, because most of the companies we were expecting, being professionals, we were expecting that now companies, they will respond and they will hire more accountants, and especially those accountants who have already practical experience of VAT or any kind of taxation. I'm really sorry. So then what happened? Because VAT, as I mentioned, that was not very much complex. So most of the people, what they did, they asked their accountants that you have to upgrade your skills and you have to understand how VAT is going to impact our businesses and do the required adjustments if there were any necessary adjustments required in their books of accounts. So that was one thing. But now in 2023, UAE announced that we want to incorporate corporate tax as well. So 10 years ago, when it was very easier for accountants to enter into this market by just having accounting knowledge, now that was getting complex and complex year by year. So that came with IFRS, then VAT, then corporate tax, and not just that, but now we have a lot of other compliances as well. Like uh, before we had ESR, which was called Economic Substance Regulation. Now that's obsolete, but for almost 2 years, that was also demanded from the accountant that you should know what exactly is Economic Substance Regulation. Apart from that, we had AML regulation as well, anti-money laundering regulation. So most of the people or most of the entrepreneurs, if they want to hire any accountant, so they want to hire them as a complete package. So you should have understanding of all the rules and regulations which are implemented or which are applicable in UAE. So that was not just it. As you know, and most of the people will know as well, that uh, UAE has two different sectors. One is called mainland and the other one is called free zone. So you have different options if you want to incorporate your company. So you have two options. One is free zone and the other one is mainland. So free zones, they might have their own rules and regulations as well. So if I was getting a job in any of the free zone companies, so they were also expecting me to know the rules and regulations applicable within that particular free zone. So the demand you see from the beginning, 10 years ago or 9 years ago, that the expectation from the accountants were different. And now with the incorporation of all of these taxes and compliances, the expectation from accountants is different, obviously. So if you want to come and if you want to enter into this market, and if you want that, you should be getting a response from employers, because this is what I get a lot from most of the people who are coming over here to and seeking jobs. So they say that we are not getting any response. So my question to them is how you're responding to the market, what exactly you're bringing on the table. So that's one of the questions. Obviously, if I have something to offer, so there's nobody who will not accept what exactly I'm offering, or they will neglect the fact that I'm a complete package and actually add value into their company. Because otherwise, if I keep all of these things aside, corporate tax and the compliances, otherwise you must have heard that now the role of an accountant has evolved a lot from technology perspective, from understanding perspective, from international taxations or international rules and regulations. So everything has changed a lot. And we had ERPs before we didn't have ERPs. So everything is changing. So it means that being an accountant, I have to adapt and I have to evolve as well. So if I'm evolving, obviously I'll create demand for myself in the market, which unfortunately is not happening. So this is what I would say. If you are an accountant and if you really want to have a job, then this is one of the things which you have to do. You have to prepare. And if you're not prepared, obviously you'll not be getting any kind of response. But the thing is that you have to create your own market. And how you create your own market, it depends on you, how well you're prepared for the market. So this is I think I have responded to your question.
So I must agree with you, Kalim, that the students, what they normally think is that, oh, I have done the ACCA, I've done the CA, and I've done a very big thing. And now when I'll just land here in UAE, there will be a line of employers who will be saying that, oh, please come to our organization. This is what a student need to understand is that when you enter in the UAE market, like even when you enter the Karachi market, which is a very small market, there is a market of accountants who are looking for a job. And when you talk about UAE, where the people are coming from every country, Indians, Pakistanis, even the Europeans, everyone is coming there because it's a great place to live. So when there are so many people coming there, you have to outbright yourself. And how will you do that? It's not just your qualification. You need to identify those important skills. And for
Exactly.
that,
Very well said.
as
Very
you
well said. Yeah.
highlighted, that it's not just your accountancy qualification. That was the thing which was required in 2015. Like, but now when you talk about it, you should know about the accounting softwares also. Like, you should know how to use the QuickBooks, you should know how to use the SAP, those softwares. Then you should know about the VAT, you should know about the corporate taxes. And in the UAE specifically, there is a lot of focus going on the sustainability reporting things. And the ACC itself is doing a lot on sustainability. So I'll completely agree that it's very important for a student that make his profile which make which differentiates it in front of the employer, like in front of 100 nationalities. When your CV goes in on the table, it differentiates. I'll completely agree with it. Now, Kalim, in my opinion, like what I believe is that from 2025, when actually the filing thing will start to happen, then there will be a lot of opportunities for the people who are living inside UAE. And equally, I see there are a lot of opportunities for outsourcing and freelancing work also. Like when we talk about normally the businesses were not making a lot of detailed accounts as per IS and IFRS. Even if it's a small entity, it has to now make the accounts as per IFRS, as per SME, or even if it has to make the cash basis accounting, then it has to make a corporate tax return, it has to do the filing. Because still now, what I believe is that the UE market is thinking that corporate tax is only about registration, like doing the registration thing. But when we'll actually enter in the market, there will be issue about the depreciation. The tax department will ask you that how you depreciate it. There will be allowed expenses, there will be not allowed expenses. So I particularly believe here that if I look forward 5, 10 years, and as obviously the UAE will be going in more and more detail of the taxation because it's just a journey. In 2017, they introduced VAT, then they introduced corporate taxes. Now they are going for additional taxes on the multinational company. So it's a complete journey. So do you agree that in next 5 to 10 years, there will be a demand of accountancy career with, especially for those, as I'll agree, the accountants who have the knowledge of taxation, who have the knowledge of auditing, and those who most importantly know how to use the AI tools. So what's
Yeah.
your opinion about the market moving forward 5 to 10 years?
I believe not in 5 to 10 years. I think that's the demand now, because this is a new thing for UAE. And most of the people, most of the accountants who came here earlier, so they started their careers within UAE. So they don't really have any kind of exposure to corporate tax and different kind of compliances. So I believe those people who have already worked in those kind of jurisdictions or those environments where it was already they had corporate tax, different kind of compliances. So I think this is a very good time for them to enter. But obviously, what they have to do, taxes are different, treatments are a little bit different, rates are different. So they have to gain that knowledge, what exactly is happening in UAE at the moment. And now we are almost at the end of the financial year, and this year was when corporate tax was implemented. So most of the companies who are now um, they will be closing their books account by the end of this month. So from next year onwards, they have to submit their tax returns. And still, a lot of people, they want to plan, they have to create strategies how they can maximize their profits, how they can maximize their tax liabilities, and how they can utilize their expenses, how they should be recording their revenues. So all of these things still it's required within the market that you have to understand, or they need those kind of people who already have exposure to these kind of compliances, and they already know how to make adjustments within the financial statements. As you mentioned, that obviously there are different types of accounting treatments, and a lot of people they are maintaining their books of accounts in different methods. But what they have to do, they have to understand once they have prepared their financial statements. So financial profits could be different than tax profits. Agree, right? So that's what you have to understand, how that's going to happen. Obviously, there are different kind of treatments within UAE, and still the best chance for the accountants or aspiring people who want to enter in UAE market is that still it's easier to understand, and this is the time you should start learning about corporate tax and different compliances if you want to enter into this market. See, whenever somebody is coming to me and I already always say that definitely companies and the entrepreneurs or the business owners, they also have to understand that they have to plan, and they need somebody who has the right skills and expertise to help them in corporate tax or in planning. And I say that being an accountant, our job is not just to do data entry. This is what most of people think, that if they know the accounting treatments, if they know how to use accounting software, that's it. This is it. But that's not it. But you have to upgrade yourself. You have to upskill yourself. And that's how that can happen. Obviously, they have to learn. And if they see any kind of courses they can attend, so they should learn. And this is the right time to learn, because this is very new. A lot of treatments, you already know how these treatments are happening in their home countries. So similar kind of treatment, they just have to understand with a little bit twist what exactly is happening, how UAE corporate tax is taking those treatments, what are the rates. Obviously, the rates are different. And still, I believe UAE has one of the lowest rates in the world if there's no tax. But obviously, if there's any kind of tax, so this is the lowest rates within UAE. So this is still a good it's a good territory, or it's a good country for a lot of people to invest and to learn both. So I would say if somebody wants to enter into this market, so they have to equip themselves with the right skills and the understanding. And this is the time I think it's good if a lot of people they can understand, or they can take the courses of corporate tax, especially. I think that will be very good for, because uh, if you can get a little bit of experience in the home countries where you already have taxes, so that is definitely going to add value.
Kalim, now one very important question, and you are the most relevant person to answer that, because you regularly help the students and the individuals who are coming to you. You are looking for their future in UAE. Like, for example, whenever I meet an accountant, like so many students we have in UAE, when we meet, they always say that Mr. Kalim is that person. Like, even when I remember, like, 3 years, 2 years back, when we were having a meetup here in UAE. So this the students were those who connected to you that if we want to do anything, we should meet Mr. Kalim, because he's that right person. So I want to ask you that one important question, that in your opinion, when an individual is coming to UAE with a perspective that, okay, I want to establish myself here, what should be his journey? Like, he has completed his ACCA qualification. Like, one time I was sitting with you and you gave him said a very important thing, that a student should go for an internship, even if that internship is free. And then I quoted this example in my classes also, that here in Pakistan, the students say that if I want to go for the internship, how much I will earn? And you said that even if it's free in UAE, which is an expensive country, the student should go for that internship, because it will It will improve his profile. So there are many students which ask us that, sir, we want to go to UAE, we want to establish our career there. So in your opinion, that okay, I have done ACCA. Now I want to come to UAE. I want to make it my second home. So what should be my journey as a professional accountant?
Fine. See, a few minutes ago, you mentioned like Dubai or UAE is a metropolitan country. So it's not that it's only Pakistanis. Obviously, we have Indians, we have other nationalities. From all over the world, we have people over here. So now it's up to me how I outstand in that crowd. And how I will outstand in that crowd if all of them they're ACCAs, all of them they know IFRS, all of them they know ISAs. So definitely it's skills. First of all, if I have any extra skills which I have learned, and how I can learn, obviously going learning from teachers like you. You can guide all of these people. Let's see, this is what's required, and this is the need of the time, and these are the skills which you should be learning, because you being teachers, you are always up to date. So I believe that students they should approach first of all their mentors, their teachers, and teachers can also always help them that this is what expected from them. Secondly, when I started my career, even I worked with different companies just to gain that experience, because I knew that just with qualification I cannot add value, or I cannot offer any kind of value to the market. So because I didn't have any practical experience. So that's, I know that nowadays people they're impatient a little bit, so they want to earn money as soon as possible. And some of the people they come to me and they say that now I'm qualified, so I should start from a finance manager level. So things does not happen in that way. So those people who are already sitting in the market, so they also have a journey. So it didn't mean that once they qualified and the next day they were finance manager. So each and every person has a journey. So they go through that journey, they learn a lot, and then they reach that level wherever they have reached today. So if you see any kind of person, and this is what I believe as well. So if you want to reach somewhere, so first of all, you have to take that first step. Just by thinking, you cannot reach your destiny. So you have to take that first step. Let's see this. If I want to do something, so you actually do that, and which is lacking in a lot of people that they plan or they have some certain dreams or missions, but they are not really working towards achieving those missions or those destinies. So this is what you have to do. You have to do something, learn, and mentors are there. You can go and you can seek help from them, because in our time, the career counselor was not a very common term back then. But now you have career counselor everywhere around you. And not just that, but now teachers they also know that this is what we have to do. We have to guide our students. It's not just that we have to give them whatever they're studying from the books or from the study text, but you have to give them some practical experiences. So they should be ready for the world, which is what exactly is coming ahead of them. So this is what you have to do. And being students, I always say that if you are getting any kind of chance in your home countries to do any kind of internship, so please go for that, because you're not going to get any kind of internship offers in UAE. I'll tell you the reason why. Because UAE is expensive. The living cost is not as you are living in your home country. So living cost is expensive. So you cannot afford to get an internship in UAE. And secondly, so most of the companies over here, so they want to earn money as well, because they have to survive. If the cost of living is high, so salaries are also high. And the companies, they have to gain more profits, more revenues, and obviously more profits. So now, an intern, so being an entrepreneur, I will also say like who is joining my team and who can actually add value to my team. So if you have gained any kind of skills, I'm not saying that without any kind of experience, you cannot add value, but obviously you will know what exactly is practical life and how you are going to implement what exactly you have learned in your studies, how you're going to implement that in practical. So that you will get if you'll be doing any kind of practical work. So if you're getting any kind of internship, so I would recommend, if you're planning to move, or if you're planning to come to UAE, so plan what exactly is required, what are the demands of the market, how you're how you will enter the market, and what kind of value you're adding into any particular company wherever you'll be going for interviews. Sometimes people they ask me, what salary should I expect? And this is also a very interesting question. What salary should I expect? I said, I cannot give you any kind of response like what salary you should expect. It's up to you. You should know what is your value. And if you don't know what is your value, how somebody else is going to value what exactly you are? So I have to put something, and how I can value myself, what exactly kind of things I'm putting on the table. So this is what I can do for your company. And I definitely like those resumes where students or those people who are looking for jobs, they put some efforts in their resumes as well. A lot of people, they don't. A lot of people, they don't. A lot of people, they came to us, and if some of those people, they come through references as well. And we ask them if you can share their resume. Once resume come to us, and definitely that resume is not impactful. So that image is built in our mind that this person is not serious in getting a job. So you have to show that seriousness, which unfortunately a lot of people who are looking for a job, they lack. So if I'm not getting that seriousness from you, that you're not even putting enough efforts to correct your resume, to put the right things in the resume, so how I'm going to hire you for any kind of position? Because I want somebody who's responsible. I want somebody who's serious. So that seriousness starts from your resume. So that's kind of impression. If I see something which is, and unfortunately, this is what very few of the times which I have seen a lot of resumes, and every year I conduct a lot of interviews. So it's very rare that people, they come and they say this is what exactly we have achieved in our previous career or in a previous company. There are very few people. Because most of the people, what they do, either they take CVs from their friends and they just edit their name and few of the details, and then they start sharing. But that's the first step if you want to get any kind of job. So that's what you have to do. You have to put some efforts in preparing that resume. And I know a lot of people, they come through your references as well, with your reference, with obviously with Sir Mustafa's reference, with Sir Subhan's reference. So even to those people, we always say that if you want, we will obviously help you, and we have helped a lot of new entrants into the UAE, because we have created that kind of a network. We have created that kind of an ecosystem where most of the senior ACCA members or ICAP members. So all of us, we have created that kind of a network where we are trying our best to help those people who are coming and looking for jobs. We also understand their conditions, and we want to help them. And that's what we have been trying to do. But if we are doing something, and if I'm putting my efforts and you are not putting your efforts, so definitely you don't expect any kind of results. So it has to be, the efforts have to be from both sides. So you have to make sure if you are applying for any kind of job, so please work on your resume, how you have to prepare that resume. Or not just that, a lot of people, they come, usually I ask one question. We have been organizing a lot of career development or a lot of sessions, educational sessions for job seekers. So my question to all of them was always that, do you know what is the first question your interview is going to ask you? And everybody says, yes, we know what is that question. And obviously it has different version, but it's the same question. Tell me about yourself or introduce yourself is the same question. It can come in different variants, but it's the same question. And how many of you have prepared for this question? And you know the paper is out. You know already what is the question, but still you are not planning, you're not preparing for it. So it means that you're not serious in getting that job. Now you have ChatGPT, you have a lot of AI tools, you have YouTube, you have a lot of mediums. You can go and you can learn how to respond that question. And that first question is definitely going to impact that employer. And that is the first question which also depicts if you are going to get that job or not. That's obviously that's the decision maker question.
I'll
So you
completely
know
agree with
already,
you.
our employer knows already that if that employer should be hiring you or not. So why not plan? Why not prepare for it?
I'll completely agree with you, Kalim. And if I sum up, I must say that it's very important that when a student is coming to UAE, he knows that what is his value and why an employer would value him. Today only I was talking in a session and I told to the students that just make yourself an employer for 1 minute and look at your profile. That will you hire yourself? The students say that, sir, the reference guys are getting the job. I say, okay. Now open your CV. Is your CV sufficient enough that it can lead to a job without a reference? you need to plan. And I completely agree with you. The profile, that profile should be, you need to spend time on that. That profile is the first document when going to the interview table, it convinces the other person. And when we say that, tell us about yourself, it's not about tell us about myself, that my height is this, I wear this. It's
Yeah, yeah.
tell us about yourself,
Obviously.
means that how will you add value to my organization? What
Exactly.
is your
Exactly.
value that will connect with us? Now, many of the students here in the chat box, they are asking that, sir, I have done ICAW, I have done ACCA. Some students said that I have done in the Pakistani tax career, and now I want to move towards the UAE. So, what should be the path route? So, I think that Kalim has already answered it. That, see, if you want to move to the UAE market, first you need to be very much determined, because that's a real competitive market. Now, like when you are coming from a Pakistan or an India market where you are only competing with your own nationalities, and when you come to UAE, where you are competing with the international market, you need to be very much competitive. So you need to prepare yourself. You need to make sure that you have those right skills, do the right courses, have some experience. Like, okay, if you want to do the taxation work, have some experience of the taxation in your own country, do some internships, do some articleship, and then come to UAE. Now, one student has asked that, sir, we hear that in UAE there are a lot of visa issues. So, is it exactly a good market still? So, see, in my opinion, if your profile is good, and if the only thing at which the UAE market creates an hurdle is a graduation degree, that you need to have a graduation along with the certification. So, like, it's if it's ACCA or ICAP, it's itself a certificate. You need some graduation degree. So when we talk about ACCA, you have a very good opportunity in form of OBU, that Oxford Brookes University, or even ACCA has a lot of agreements with a lot of universities through which a student get a lot of exemptions, and you can have a graduation. So I personally believe that if you have that graduation thing, then in UAE, I don't think that there is a visa issue. Now,
I
Kalim,
would
one
like to,
important.
sorry,
Yeah,
just before
yeah.
that, I would like to add a few things over here. So most of the people, they say that it's just about the reference. So do you think, like, if I will refer you somebody who does not know anything, so you will have that person? Never, never. So it's not just about references. It's obviously about what exactly the kind of skills or expertise you're bringing on the table. So if somebody is referring me somebody who cannot do anything for my business, obviously I'm running a business. And being an entrepreneur, I have different connections and I want to keep those connections. But that connections does not mean that those connections should harm my business, right? So obviously I'm running a business. So I want those kind of people who can add value. So it's not just about references. It's about, as I mentioned earlier, that you have to work on your profiles. You have to work. So most of the time, I receive messages on LinkedIn, which is just hi. So what should I treat that hi? Like, is it an old friend who has returned back and just want to connect with me back? So these things you have to learn. If you're approaching somebody, how to approach them, because most of the people over here, they don't really have time. So if you want to grab attention, so you have to build something which will definitely grab their attention. And that high is not going to grab their attention. High is actually annoying. So you're already closing your doors, or you're already closing that opportunity which you could have gained if you introduce yourself properly. And if you would have, it's not just that, see, this is my name, I have done this, I have done that. Not just that, but you have to explicitly say what exactly do you want. It has to be obvious from the massive what you need. You're looking for a job, mention that you're looking for a job and you are available. And this is what you can add value, and this is what you have done, or this is what you have achieved in your career in the past years. And that's why people or those employers, they should hire you. But most of the people, they're not clear in their message.
I'll completely
So
agree
obviously
with
there are
that.
a lot of things. And if you will just keep complaining, you will keep complaining, you will never get anything. So what you have to do, you have to act, you have to plan, you have to prepare, and then you'll be getting something. I will give you my example. When I came here, I also came here on a visit visa, just 1 month visit visa. A lot of people back then, we had an option of getting 3 months visit visa, but I came on 1 month visit visa. Some of my friends who were studying ACCA with me, even they came here on 3 months visit visa. They couldn't secure a job, but I secured my job within the first week. First week I got the job, and then I worked with them for almost 5 years. But why did they choose me, or why I got that job was during the interview they asked me questions, and I responded to those questions confidently. Because most people, they come here, they're not prepared. They don't know about the organization. They don't research. They don't prepare for the interview. What exactly the employer or that interview is going to ask them. You don't have any responses. And if you don't have any kind of responses, you're not going to leave any kind of impact. So you have to be confident. You have to be in a very good attire. That's also matters a lot. Most people, they say that this does not matter, but that matters a lot. So you have to improve not just your accounting skills or accounting knowledge. So you have to work on your soft skills as well. How do you look? How do you sit? How do you speak? How you interact with the employer or that interviewer? All of these things matter. So it's not just one thing. Obviously, uh, as we mentioned earlier, that if you have qualified ACCA or CA or whatever qualification you have, but then you have to add some skills. Learn about corporate tax. It's not that much difficult. And now you have a lot of resources available online. You can go and you check. Sir Mustafa is offering a tax course. That's also very much valuable. So if you can want to learn, you can learn from there. So it's just that how greedy you are to learn and to enter into this market. You have to show that eagerness. So once you show that, so employers, they're not blind. Obviously, they see those efforts happening, and this is what I want as well in my company. I want those people who are really willing to do something, who are ready to learn, who are really ready to challenge themselves. And obviously, I'll have these kind of people. So it's not just about references, that only those people who are getting job with references, but there are a lot of people who are getting jobs without references. I've had a lot of people just by posting on different platforms that we are hiring these people. We got a lot of CVs. We shortlisted some of the CVs. We interviewed them, and then we hired one person. So a lot of companies are doing these processes. It's not just that every company is hiring with references. But yeah, that could be one of the excuse which you just want to tell to yourself that maybe this is the reason why I'm not getting any kind of job. But I have to look into my own thing, what exactly I am offering, where I'm standing at the moment. If I'm able to add value to that company, obviously everybody will hire you.
I completely agree with you, Kalim. And the very important thing which you highlighted here was the thing relating to soft skills. See, when I'm sitting at the institution and whenever we are doing hiring, and when I am the interviewer, believe me, my 75% decision is taken when a candidate just enters inside the room. His dressing, his presentation, that matters the most, because what I believe particularly is, and I say in the classes also, like if someone lacks some technical skill, that I can teach him through training. But if someone lacks personality issues, that can never be overcome, that can never be corrected. If he lacks punctuality, if he don't know how to dress, if he don't know how to talk, that's something which can never be sorted. If he don't know about the taxes, I'll pay his fees, I'll enroll him somewhere, I'll give him training, that's a very small thing. So that's very important about the soft skill. And here I want to highlight very important thing. When we talk about us, we South Asians, we talk about Pakistanis, Indians, Bangladeshi, Nepal, we all lack politeness. We all lack politeness. Just compare yourself with those who are coming from Philippines, those who are coming from Malaysia, those who are coming from the Europe side. They have a very good communication skill. They have a very good dressing skill. And when you talk about the UAE market, you are competing with them. And when we talk about the Pakistanis, we naturally have a short temperament. We naturally do not invest on our well-being. We naturally don't invest. And when you compare them with the European, who dresses well, who is very good in communication, who is particularly trained for that thing, he he will simply outweigh you in the interview. And then if someone will come out and say that, sir, see, he got a job because he was a European, I'll just say that just change the position, become an employer, take your interview and take the interview of that European. Maybe he will be technically bit weak, but his communication, his presentation, his personality, that will create a lot of impact. So here we all South Asia, Pakistani, Indian, Bangladeshi, Nepali, we all need to work on that communication skill, on our dressing. Like I remember one example, one of us, I referred one of the student to some job, and here in Pakistan, I am very reluctant in referring people because people lead to a very bad circumstance then. So one guy literally went inside the interview room with a jacket of that bike jacket wearing. He went inside the interview room, and the interviewer later on called me, and he didn't said that, how was that kid? He said that, what did you send? What was that? Like what he did in the interview. And when I asked that guy, he said that, sir, I cannot afford, I have to go in the bike. What can I do? I said that, see, this is the problem. If you have any issue, go at the interview space 30 minutes first, 30 minutes earlier, take a shirt with you, change it, make yourself presentable so that when you enter inside the interview room, that interviewer feels happy meeting you. He says that, okay, someone came and he had an impact and an impression. So the thing about the soft skill, I believe that it's very much true. It's very much true. Kalim, one last, just the closing advice and the closing remarks. You already answered this question, but I'll just request you again. Your journey of 10 years, you spent 10 years, just started from zero, no
Yeah.
reference, came in UAE on a visit visa, started from zero. Now you are running your own firm. Now you are an employer. You started as a trainee, and in a decade, you are an employer. You have more than 50 individuals in your team. You are engaging more than 3,000 ACCA members here in UAE. What did you do? What was your journey? And what one piece of advice you would give to these individuals who are planning to come to UAE and prosper in that market?
Perfect. Thank you so much for all of these wonderful words. So, see, as I mentioned earlier, so it's just about your approach, your mindset. If you have a growth mindset, so before going into that, I would like to share one example. Like when I started, and that's a very good lesson for a lot of people. That mindset works a lot in your career development. That's a mindset, right? So when I planned that I should be starting my own company, so I thought maybe what I can do is that I can buy a company which is already running, so I can get some clientele. Uh, then I met one person, and that person was selling his management consulting firm. I said, okay, fine, good. I went, I met that person, and that company was almost 12 years old. Now, 12 years old, and I didn't have that much budget. And immediately I thought, no, definitely I cannot buy this company because this is so old, and this company must be having a huge revenue, a lot of clientele. So I don't have that much money to buy that company. And then I asked, obviously, because I wanted to get more insight, I asked that person, like, how much is your revenue? So I would just say in dirhams, that in dirhams, his revenue was almost 220,000 dirhams. And I said, okay, fine, great. So this is 220,000 dirhams per month. And he said, no, 220,000 dirhams per year. And now immediately a question arises, like, why? And that was curiosity. What exactly happened? Because I know that if any business is earning 220,000 dirhams a year and that company has staff as well, so obviously that company is into losses. And 12 years journey, and still you are starting at this position where you don't have 220,000 dirhams monthly revenue. So I asked that person, and that person said, and that person gave me the lesson of my life that, see, I didn't want to grow. I never wanted to grow. I just wanted this business to run my kitchen, and that's it. So that was a huge lesson for me that if you don't have that capacity and if you don't have that mindset of growth, you will never grow. So again and again, I will say that it's about your seriousness, how much serious you are in doing something. And it's not just planning, but it's execution. You act accordingly. So this is what you have to do. So when I came over here, so I had in my mind that, see, this is the industry I want to enter in, and I put all of my efforts. I approached a lot of people on LinkedIn, on different social media platforms. Here we have different kind of platforms. We have career development. Oh, sorry, for job seekers, we have some platforms where a lot of employers, they come and they post their jobs. So you should know what exactly is happening. So planning is one of the things, and planning does not start after coming to UAE. Planning starts when you are outside UAE. So that's when you have to start your planning. So planning is what kind of skills do you need to enter into this market,
Agree.
right? So this is one of the things. So that starts from, if you have your qualification, you have ACCA, any kind of certification, whatever you have, and any previous degree, whatever you have, either it's matriculation or if it's intermediate or bachelor's. So all of these degrees should be attested from the relevant authorities. So you should know, obviously, we can share the details if somebody wants the details. I hope you can provide them with the details, like what exactly the procedure, and you can guide them how it's done. But most of the people, they already know how it's done. So that's the first step you have to do. All of your degrees should be attested. And if you have ACCA or any other certification, so those certifications should also be attested from the relevant accounting bodies. So that's the first step of planning if you are if you're planning to come to UAE. So that's the first step. And obviously now you have to work on your communication skills, you have to work on your appearance, you have to work on your confidence. And confidence is only built if you know what exactly you're going to do. So if you have the right skills and knowledge, obviously that will give you confidence. Once I got a CV. So somebody mentioned, and you mentioned, a lot of people, they say that they're getting jobs through references. So I got a CV through a reference, and that person said, yeah, that Kalim, please hire this person and give any kind of role to this person, because these people, they really need that job. And I said, okay, fine. So it was a lady, she came to my office, and I just looked at her CV because it was coming through a reference. So I just wanted to ask her very simple questions. And I asked her, can you please tell me what was this training which you have mentioned in your resume? And the response literally shocked me. And the response was, sir, I did this training almost 2 years ago, and now I don't know what exactly I learned in that training. So that was shocking for me. Like, if you have learned something, so how you can forget it? So it means, as I mentioned earlier, so you have to work a lot on your resumes. So you should write what exactly you know, because employer or interviewer can ask you anything, and even from your resume, and you will be in a very awkward position if you don't know what you have mentioned in your resume. So you have to read. You should know what you have mentioned in your resume, if you really have those skills or not. If you don't have those skills, so obviously you'll be in a very awkward situation, and definitely that employer or that interviewer is not going to accept your application. You will definitely be rejected. So this is what you have to do. You have to gain those skills. And once you have those skills, you don't have to write any rubbish in your resume, because you will know what you have to write, what you can offer. And even if it's small resume, nobody cares. Nobody wants to see 5 pages or 6 pages or 10 pages resumes. Nobody has that much time. So if it's precise, it's good, because I want to know how you want to add value in my company, and that's sufficient for me to make a decision if I should be calling you for interview or not. So CV is the first impression because you're not there. Now, soft skills, your educational skills, your interpersonal skills, they're all secondary. So first thing is your resume. And you're not really putting efforts in making a good resume, an impactful resume. So obviously, this is what you have to do. And apart from that, contact as many people as you can on LinkedIn, on other social media platforms. So the approach should be different. People should see that, yes, you are willing to do something and you're serious. Again and again, I'm saying that seriousness matters a lot. So if you're not serious, nobody's going to hire you.
I'll
So that's one
completely
of the
agree with
things.
you.
And obviously, as I mentioned, that it's all about your perspective, your perspective, where you want to reach, where you want to see yourself in the next 5 years or 10 years, and you work for it. You take step by step, and you reach your destination. So that step by step does not just come overnight. So that has to be over the years. So that's what you have to plan. And if you can plan, obviously you will succeed. But upskill, learn how to do things. Be serious with your profession. This is what I would say.
I'll completely agree with you, Kalim. And here I want to address one more thing, that people think that I'll come to UAE and I'll go in every office and I'll apply there and then I'll get a job. See, this approach may help, but at the same time, the thing which you highlighted is your resume, your profile matters a lot. And here I want to highlight one more thing. In UAE, especially, the LinkedIn is a very important platform that you have to use. Now, many students say that, sir, you said make a LinkedIn account. I made a LinkedIn account, but still I'm not getting a job. So I said that, okay, let's open your LinkedIn account. Let's see what is in your LinkedIn account. In LinkedIn account, you are publishing your birthday photos, you are publishing your wedding photos, you are publishing your picnic photos.
You
You're
don't, you
just
don't even
doing
have a
that.
nice profile picture.
Yeah. Now you made this profile, and by chance, if an employer opens your profile and he is looking at it, how will he identify that, okay, he is someone who is looking for an accountancy career? Like, at least your profile should present the accountancy skill. You should ask your friends, your seniors, your supervisor to endorse your skills. You can write some blogs on the accountancy. You can make some videos on that. You can put something relating to accounting, share your ideas of your accounting, auditing, and taxation. And then after that, making that entire profile, making a good CV, and just keeping it at home has no value. It will not go on its own legs to an employer. Now you have to go and find the relevant people who are in those organizations where you are aspiring. And then you can send them a very good, concise message. And please don't like that. Hi, enter, leave it. Then you say, hello. Then you say, I'm looking for a job. And then don't create an irritation. Like we experience this daily, like students. First they said hello and then left. I'll say, yes, anything? Sir, I want to ask a question. Then again gone. Please send it in one message. I'm not your friend that we are chatting. So this is what you need to understand, that okay, once you've created a good profile, approach those people, do some research, plan it, and then you can send them a good message. And one more thing which I will tell from my experience, that when I used to apply anywhere, I used to modify my CV for every job separately. And while modifying that CV, I used to think that okay, how this CV will be important enough that it will create value for that employer. So I must say that Kalim, you gave great advices to the students, that plan that what you are looking for, understand your value, looking for the right courses, right skills, communication, soft skills. I must say that this is the crux of everything which is required in the UAE market, and not in just UAE market. You go anywhere. Like even if you go to UK market, these are all of the things which are required. Kalimal, thank you that taking out for your time. I must say that it's really appreciable that when you take out time, and our objective is just to encourage the people, to motivate them, to give them that right direction, that okay, this is how you can make your career prosperous. So it's great that you took out time, and I'll thank you again for that also. And I hope that the students will go in the right direction, equip them with the right skills. Many of the students has asked a lot of questions on the Zoom. I was trying to answer them through during the session also. But if someone's question wasn't answered, you can always connect with me on the social media. You can always connect with Kalim also. Like he helps the individuals in such a way. Like sometimes we get jealous. We say that Kalim, how you deal with so many people together? So you can always connect with Kalim also. He's a great person, and I must say that he is the face of our accountancy community there. Like whenever we go
Thank
there,
you so
we
much.
want to
Thank
do
you.
anything for the accountants. We always say that always connect with Kalim. He'll have great ideas, and he'll support us in the best possible manner. So thank you, Kalim, for taking
For
out
sure.
your.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was definitely a pleasure sharing my experiences, or obviously my thoughts. This is what I just wanted to share from my perspective, or because I have been on the both sides of the table. I've been an employee and now I'm an employer. So at least from my experience, whatever I can share with all the students, with all the aspirant students, and whatever difference I can create in people's life, obviously, I'm more than happy to assist. And hopefully we'll be organizing this session very often, so we can offer more and more advice to all of those people. And then we can only give advice, but again, I say that it comes from their side as well, that how serious they are to change and to get use of all of these advices. This is what we have to do. Anyways, thank you so much, and obviously it was a pleasure talking in this session, and looking forward.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.